We
Woo!
are live, Roger. Hello.
We are live. Hello, Alexandre. How you doing?
I'm a little excited. How are
A
you?
little bit?
Just a little
Oh,
bit.
wow. Welcome to the debut of Great Convos, the podcast with myself, Roger Caesar, and that gentleman over there.
I am Alexandre Matt. We call each other fun guy. That's the guy that. Wait, I have to point there. He's
That's
the fun
right.
guy.
And you are the calm guy.
Yeah, some funny titles that we gave each other because we realized something when we started this project that we seem to have contradictory personalities.
Yes. I am more of the outgoing, flamboyant, energetic guy, and he is the cerebral, calm, relaxed guy. And for whatever reason, opposites attract, as they say, and this we are hoping will work. So we want to first of all shout out to everyone who is here streaming live on LinkedIn and Facebook. Thank you very much for being here with us. Obviously, we are very excited to start this. I mean, Alexandre, you said it yourself. You were a little bit excited. Well, I was a little bit excited and nervous at the same time. I mean, who does this? I mean, how did this all begin between you and I? Maybe
Well,
we should share that, right?
yeah, we could share how we came to meet each other and become friends, even though we were competitors. You could think that
Yes.
by competing against each other, we
Mm,
can't become friends. But I think it's been completely the opposite.
I
Now,
agree.
a lot of
I agree.
people might know us by our the fact that we were in the international speech contest and the world championship of public speaking. Roger, you made it into the top three speakers in 2021 at the World Championship of Public Speaking. And
Yes.
what did I do?
You went and surpassed that the very next year by placing top two in the
So
world in
Roger set the
2022.
example. You set the example, Roger, and I just wanted to follow in your footsteps. And it looks like I went just a little farther.
Yes, you did. Hey, listen, at the end of the day, Alexandre, I am so happy that we were able to represent our district the way we were. I mean, you and I have been in Toastmasters. And for those of you who don't know what Toastmasters International is or what the organization is, let me just quickly say that it is an organization that helps individuals to hone on their communication and leadership skills. This is where both Alexandre and I first met, where we were able to work on our craft and to get to where we are. And there's what, I forget how many clubs. Hello, Lena is on. Hello, Lena. Thanks for joining us. There are so many clubs all over the world. Over 30,000 people, members, compete each year for the international speech contest. So, Alexandre, you know what? Let's get a look. We got Felicia on here. Oh my gosh, thank you very much, Rich. Thank
Hey,
you, Rich, for being here
speaking
as
of
well.
speaking of top three speakers in the world, Rich has done this as
Yes,
well.
he has as well. So we're in the company of champions as well. Thank you for being here. It's why don't we talk about, first of all, why don't we get into that? Why don't we start talking about how you got started, right? I think a lot of people who don't know us would love to find out just how we got started in this organization, how we got here.
Yeah, and I think our both of our journeys starting in the organization are similar. It was in 2007 when I was in a new city in Sudbury, Northern Ontario, and
Mhm.
I had all I was doing was working and eating and sleeping, I suppose. I didn't do it in the right order. Eat, sleep, work, and I had nothing to do. I had about no friends and no family in the area. So when I
Hmm.
received an invitation for a Toastmasters meeting, first I thought, well, that sounds weird, and
Yeah.
and then I thought also, this this might be something interesting to meet people. But also when I was reading what was going on, I thought this looks like an organization to help me, come out of my shell, my my shyness. So I
Hmm.
and it took me a few weeks to decide, but I finally decided to become a member. I saw what
Right.
the what I could become, or how my confidence could improve. And it's about 1 year later that Sue Grisé encouraged me to join the international speech contest. For me, who
Wow.
completely did
After
not,
a year.
yeah, and I didn't enjoy competing at all. I didn't. I hated competing against other people.
Mhm.
So but through this contest, and you might have had the same experience, I realized it's possible to enjoy competition if you're in a certain
Right.
mindset. And you joined
Yeah.
Toastmasters a few years after me.
Yeah. I came into Toastmasters in 2011. And similar to you, I was very shy, which is so crazy because we're complete opposites now. But back then, I was the type of guy that wasn't comfortable in those settings with maybe 2 or 3 people in a room. And I wanted to be comfortable being able to talk anywhere, any place, at any time. And I've talked about this before. And I started competing in Toastmasters right after I finished doing my icebreaker speech. I remember there was a gentleman in my club who said, "You know what? I could see you going and competing and possibly winning in this." And no, that's not for me. But the fact that you get out there and you put yourself out there to compete in these contests, not only are you becoming better at what you do, but then you're learning from other people. And I'm sure you learn from a lot of great people along the way and heard some great speeches, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, we could talk about one of those great people and great speeches who
Oh,
has
yeah.
shared the stage with us, Neil
Many times.
Dunsmore. So
Yeah. Shout out
Neil,
to Neil Dunsmore.
yeah, Neil, just
Good.
before the show, he wrote me a message on LinkedIn. I'm not sure if he's watching. If you're watching, write something in the comments. Neil
Yeah.
is, you'll remember his line better than I can. But when we try sometimes to find things to talk about in our speech contest, or any speech for that matter,
Mhm.
sometimes you wonder, oh well, I don't have a lot of things to talk about. I don't have any adventures or anything like that. What does Neil say about your life and your speeches?
Wow. I mean, Neil has taught me so much over a period of time. I mean, he is one of my good friends. And I know that he's probably, hopefully, I mean, I talked to him too, and he was away with his family. But if he's online, I'd be really happy to see him. But listen, the fact of the matter is, we have been in Toastmasters for quite some time. We've seen so many great speakers come through and absolutely shine on the big stage. And Neil is one of those people that both of us have looked up to in that sense. Very funny, charismatic, and the types of speeches that he's delivered over and over again have been memorable. And I think that's the key word right there, is to always leave a long lasting impression on an audience. And so there are so many other ones. I mean, I look at Mario Karakitis. I'm hoping I'm saying his
You
name
got it.
right. That's right. He's
Yeah,
always saying to
Mario.
me that I never seem to get his name. I just call him Super Mario, but he's always saying I say his name wrong. So I'm hoping I'm saying it right. Shout out to you, Mario. And there's been
Kyriakides.
some other ones. Huh?
Yeah.
We've had so many great speakers along the way.
Yeah, in our district and elsewhere. One
Elsewhere,
great
yeah.
thing about our organization, because it is worldwide, we meet people from all around the world, even more since the time that almost everything is online. But
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the
I
line
think
that
we even
Neil
have, I
says,
think I think we even have what I think we have a few champions that I saw come on here. I'm not sure if I'm right. I think Linda Marie was on here as well.
yes, you saw the name of
Yeah,
Linda Marie
Linda
Miller.
Marie. Shout out to Linda Marie Miller. How you doing? Glad
Linda
you are
Marie
here.
finished in second place in 2020
Yes,
with
2020.
a game changer.
Wow.
It was the first
Wow.
time that I could remember that a speech won at the top three without any use of humor.
Yeah. It
Uh,
was so
watch
powerful,
watch it
wasn't
if
it?
you haven't seen it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
if
I
you've
mean,
not if
the,
you've not seen her speech, you have to go online and look at it. Linda Marie Miller. I mean, it was an amazing speech. 2020, first time that we were online for the competitions, and she did such a remarkable speech. And it, again, memorable. This is what it's all
Yes,
about.
and she used a technique that I consider to be thinking inside the box. You're trying to
Uh-huh.
do something creative inside of these limits. What can you do inside of your little box that you could not do on a stage? So
Hmm.
this won't reveal too much. She says one thing, and then she has a banner or
Banner.
something physical that she
Yep.
shows, which
Hmm.
which either complements or contradicts what she is saying. It is
Correct.
brilliant. It is brilliant.
Yeah, it's
And
brilliant.
anybody
You've
that
got to
tries to
watch
do
it.
that now and in the future, we will automatically think of Linda Marie.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think that's the other factor too, is that when you see the types of speeches that have happened. Hello, Suzanne. Yes, it was very, very memorable. I think what I love most is that we have been able to adjust. And I think as speakers, you and I, we have been in person and we have learned how to maneuver in this online version of speaking. And what's amazing is how everyone has learned to adapt. And we talked about Linda Marie, but we can also talk about Mike Carr, who was obviously the world champion that year, 2020 world champion, how he was able to adjust, and so many others along the way.
It has been, what's the expression? A something in disguise.
A blessing.
A blessing in disguise.
Mhm.
Because when everything went online, I almost immediately thought, oh, this won't work. You can't reach an audience online. But because
Yeah.
at the time I was going in schools and teaching and showing storytelling to children, I had to
Hmm.
adapt myself. Otherwise, I was just staying at home, not doing anything. So
Right.
instead of not doing anything at home, I stayed at home and delivered workshops from here, from my basement. And I I understood that people are able to connect even online, a little
Mhm.
bit like what we're doing now. Even though
Right.
we can't touch each other, we can't feel each other really, but we are still having a connection. And I think people
Yes, we
have
are.
been seeing what is possible, not only one on one like this, but when you speak in front of a large crowd.
And I
We
think
could
as well, no, go on, go on.
we could visit this theme in future episodes of how do you reach people when you're only online.
Yeah, I think that the other factor is that we've been able to touch the lives of the world through this, being able to be here on online, to go to all these different places and to speak and to meet new people. It's a game changer, as you pointed out the first time. It's a true game changer what has happened. But I want to talk about something else. I want to just switch for a second and go back to you as a Toastmaster starting off. You started competing. Obviously, you were there before I started. Tell people your journey. Like you are really accomplished in
Well,
Toastmasters as well.
thanks, Roger. And we told each other we would take 15 minutes, and we've already been going for
Look
15
at that!
minutes. So
Wow,
you,
we did 15 already
it's
without
already
even
been
knowing.
15, and we're just getting warmed up. So
I
I hope that
know.
the audience will be fine if we go a few minutes over time.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Put it
the
in the
journey,
put it in the chat. Put it in the chat if you're going to be fine for another 5 more minutes. We're just gonna
if
just dive into our a little bit about who we are, and then tell you what's going to happen in the next episodes.
and if you want us to stop, then just let us know, or just leave. That's fine too. Okay, we have at least. Oh, okay. I should show you
Go,
these
go, go!
comments here.
Thank you very much,
Kathy says
Kathy.
go. Peggy
All
says
right,
absolutely.
Peggy, appreciate it. Thank you. All right, thank you very much, Suzanne. So let's go.
Yeah, and
Tell us
I'll leave
about
this
your
word
journey.
from Rich Hopkins, who says there is no red light
No
today.
red light today.
All right.
I'm loving it.
Okay.
Go
Thanks
ahead.
for all your
Tell us
comments and
about
for your
yours.
interest. All
Yeah,
right.
tell them
So
about yours.
yeah. So the first time I competed was in for the 2009 International Speech Contest,
Mhm.
and my speech was simply about leaving your comfort zone, because that's what I had been experiencing for the past year as a new
Mhm.
Toastmasters member, learning new things and expanding your comfort zone just by leaving it. Um,
Right.
I I'm I went to the district level, and they gave me the trophy because apparently it was a winning speech. And then someone came over to me and said, "Well, are you ready now for the next stage?"
Yeah.
What do you mean next stage? Well,
Next
oh,
stage.
that's what international means. It keeps going. I was
Mhm.
just, at that point, I was just having fun. But then it started to get into my head. And that's what the danger is that sometimes I see in other competitors as well. When they start out, it's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to be the world champion. I'm going to be so good." And I was
Yeah.
so concentrated on what I was going to do and beating other people on the stages that I forgot about the most important thing, the audience.
Yes.
So by learning that, I I was able to adjust how I was competing
Mhm.
and sharing stories and messages. So in 2012, I went to district again. I won. I made it to the semifinal in Orlando, and I came in second at the semifinal. And back then, you needed to be first in the semifinal to
Right.
move on. So I wasn't able to use the speech that I had prepared for the final,
Mhm.
but um, it was quite an experience to be able to reach that far. And uh, it was my speech, my story, but it was really a team effort. I
Mhm.
had the help of Mark Hunter, who was the world champion in 2009. He was my main coach, but countless other people who helped me along the way.
Mhm.
And most of the other years I competed also, but it's only in 2022 that I was able to win the district again. Because meanwhile, between 2012 and 2022, another rising star showed up, and it's
Who is that?
this fun guy here. So talk to us about that experience from those 2 years.
Yes, I mean, again, I started in 2011, and I won my very first district championship in 2014. And again, it just goes to show that some people might think that, hey, they might have just walked in and started winning right away. We lost a lot. I'm sure, Alexandre, you could say the same thing. We lost a lot of times getting to that promised land, so to speak. But man, it was so good to win in 2014 the humorous speech contest at the time. And that then catapulted me to going into the international speech contest the following year in 2015. And then 2016, I won again. 2018, I won again. And then, of course, in 2021, where finally I got out of the semifinals at the World Championship of Public Speaking and made it to the final stage, where there I placed third in the world for that year. So it was an amazing run. Obviously, I loved every moment of going through those 4 years that I went to the World Championship. But I think each one, and you'd probably say the same thing, each one was completely different for you when you went there. Would you not say that? Because I know I can.
Yeah, well, especially since it was so different being in person and being online.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, we could
you know
do
what?
this all day.
We could.
It's
We
crazy.
should we should stop because we need to keep content for future episodes, and
Yes, we
we're
do. We
touching a
do.
little bit on it of what how well what inspiration can come from or how do you say that sentence? You know what I mean?
Well, what I would say is the I think what we're going to touch on, or in fact, we are going to touch on in the next episode, is we're going to dive into both Alexandre and my speeches that won at the World Championship Public Speaking, and maybe other ones that we've done along the way, and talk about the inspiration behind these speeches. What made us uh, think that this was the speech to deliver? And the little pieces, maybe the characters, maybe where the inspiration again came from for that. We're going to dive into that in the next episode. But we are really happy that all of you were able to come here and see the debut. Thank you for all the comments as well. I mean, Alexandre, so many people were commenting. They were waiting for this. Man, we were so scared that no one would show up.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I was nervous. I was nervous because I thought nobody's going to show up, and then people started saying I'm going to be there. Then I got nervous
Yeah.
because people are actually going to watch it, and we have to.
I
This
think we
is
did
this is.
okay for our first one. I think we did
I think it
fine.
was fine. Why don't we tell our viewers and listeners why do we call it Great Convos?
Oh, yes. Well, we both, the speeches that we delivered at the World Championships, we decided to put them together. Mine was about finding the greatness within you. And Alexandre, yours was
Great conversations come from great disagreements.
together, we came up with great convos. And whether we agree or disagree, we can always find great convos. Until next time, everyone, thank you for joining us.
Thank you
Take care.
so much for being there on this first episode. Thank you, Roger. Let's do it again.
We did it.